The ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
What a night here on The Bachelor on AfterBuzz TV. What just happened? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to AfterBuzz TV. We are the ESPN of TV talk, and we are here to talk about what I thought was a pretty incredible episode of The Bachelor. Welcome to our show. If this is your first time, we are a weekly after show breaking down ABC's Banana Pants franchise, The Bachelor.
Banana Pants.
Banana Pants! That's how I felt tonight. And guys, my name is Jeff Graham. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We're glad to have you. And I'm going to introduce the rest of my co-panelists, including the incredible host, wedding officiant, and person who may be the biggest reality TV fan in the world, Mike Phelan.
Well, thank you, Jeff. What's up, everybody? So happy to be back.
Our reality TV insider and Big Brother alum, Rachel Swindler. Good to have you.
What's up, guys?
And Queen of Bachelor and writer at Perez Hilton, Christine. Good to have you tonight.
Thanks, Jeff. It's so good to be back.
And man, what an episode! I mean, we have a lot to break down, so I want to move quickly.
Yeah.
We actually mid-show, Christine is always on top of it with news. Something crazy broke, so we're going to go over some news before we cover the episode. Before all of that, though, the chat's blowing up.
Very apt in the chat. I'm seeing all you guys. Welcome. Great to see all of you. Very apt. Joseph Boza says, full panel back to figure out WTF.
Yes!
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Oh my God, we love you guys. You
We do.
understand. Like, this type of support is everything we need.
Yes, we have the OG crew here tonight, and we're going to be going over some news. We've got some topics, of course, our news and gossip, and tweeting for the right reasons. So, let's go over our overall thoughts. Rachel Swindler, how did you feel about tonight's episode?
It gave me everything.
Yeah.
I mean, there was just so much to dig into. I feel like it started off, we started off a little slow because, we Hannah Ann State, but, still interesting. But, man, at the end, they brought it home with that Victoria F drama. Ooh. So, yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
I loved it. It gave me a lot more of what I wanted. I love the drama. It's obviously really fun. It's fun to watch. But I know we're going to do maybe some predictions later. It kind of solidified how I think this season is going to end up.
That's like such a good tease. Christine, what'd you think?
You're welcome.
I was so geeked out for this episode and happy to be back to break it down with you guys because I personally love hometowns.
Yeah.
It's such a good peek into these girls' lives, and I always love picking apart the families. I know that sounds terrible.
So true, though.
But ironically enough, this episode, I was focused less on the family and more on like how these girls seem to like crumble at this point in the competition. Some connections were strengthened, others not so much. So.
Yeah, the song that Hunter Hayes sang at that concert was, I don't want easy, I want crazy.
I want crazy.
And these types of moments are when I'm like, these Bachelor producers, they were like, you're gonna contractually,
Sing this
you
song.
have to sing this
Yes,
song.
100%.
Out of your whole discography,
Oh my
this
God,
one.
that's a 6-year-old song, so he wasn't wanting to sing that song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is.
Amazing.
really
That's
that
even
old?
better.
It's just,
He doesn't remember the lyrics
This
anymore.
isn't promoting his new album. This
No.
is like,
Right.
hey, 6 years ago, that song we wanted.
Yeah, that's the song.
That's so awesome.
I love The Bachelor for that reason. We'll be getting into all of it, but Victoria F is, of course, I'm referring to crazy stuff tonight. And around Victoria F, some news broke during the episode that's very relevant to tonight's discussion. So we're going to cover news first. Let's get into it.
Yes, guys. So as you know, if you watched tonight's episode, Peter's ex-girlfriend Marissa popped up on his group date with Victoria to spill a little tea about what she knows about Victoria's past. Now, during the episode, Us Weekly put out an article. They caught up with Marissa and got to the nitty-gritty of why she hopped on this episode in the first place. I will start out by saying she is not the wife of someone, in a marriage that Victoria broke up. She is just a friend who happened to befriend her in this Virginia Beach circle. They knew a lot of the same people. She described that her first encounter with Victoria was that she told me she was going to slash my tires because I was hanging out with one of her ex-boyfriends. So that kind of already tells you where she stands when it comes to Victoria.
This is from Marissa, right?
This is from
Okay.
Marissa's words. Marissa also claimed that Victoria became very self-centered and attention-seeking once she found out she was getting cast on the show and made a scene at an outing that they were at with some mutual friends. But in terms of why she got in touch with producers, she said that I knew who Victoria was as far as her reputation, but I honestly did not know that she had done as much damage as she had done to our hometown. It kind of started becoming a trend. I felt like she was a little more entitled or felt that way. And so just leading up to that, I felt like all these people out here aren't going to say anything. I had a totally different stance than everybody because I knew Peter. I know his family. I know the type of person he is. So I felt like if anyone were to say something, it felt like it should come from me. he should probably listen to me versus some random girl. So,
Okay, so does that mean like she had conspired among the group of scorned Victoria F friends, and she's like, I'm the one who's going to tell him? Do you think?
Maybe so.
it could come off that way. Now, I do want to point out that she did say that she reached out to the producers first with this knowledge, and they initially told her, hey, we don't feel like we have vetted the situation enough to bring you on the show. Now, before the date happened, the producers reached back out to her and let her know that the date was going on in their hometown and invited her 30 minutes before the date to come back.
We don't,
and share that
know.
information.
We don't know if we really have this vetted enough, but we're going to be at this exact address at this exact time. So
Exactly.
Right? So
So
they
right.
circled
please
back
don't
to her.
come
So do you-
then.
Wink, wink.
So do you think they vetted enough at that point about it?
That begs the question.
They don't
Did they?
care. The rumor is rocking. Let's go.
I
Yeah,
know.
she went on to say, I'm just going to paraphrase the
Please,
rest of her
get in there.
statement, that one of the wives actually confronted her when she was at a bar in Virginia Beach and thanked her for taking on this burden of telling her, of exposing Victoria, which, considering the
wow.
statement, I don't know when this happened, that she was thanked, but
Who was thanking her?
one of the wives from the couples that that Victoria
Whoa, yeah.
allegedly broke up thanked Marissa for doing her due diligence. And as you know, our Bachelor fans don't miss a beat. So despite blurring her face out, it's the whole world knows who Marissa
Yeah,
is
about
at this point.
2.6
And
seconds after
We know
she
her
came
social
on.
security
Right.
number.
This is an Us Weekly article.
This is an Us Weekly
Wow.
article.
So this isn't something that's not true. This has to be. I mean,
I mean, it's not like
Take it
this
with a
is-
grain of salt.
Take it with a grain of
Take it with a
salt.
grain
But
of salt.
this isn't coming from rinkydink.com.
exactly.
right,
That's-
and even with
Hold
the
up.
credible,
Buy that URL right now.
True. And if
Even-
you want to register rinkydink.com,
we have to keep in mind though that this is also just Marissa's point of view here, and I say that because we never actually got Victoria's side of the story this episode.
or Marissa's face. Of course, now all of us are following Marissa, so get your come up, Marissa.
yeah, I've already
We'll
started
see
following
her.
Marissa on Instagram.
Marissa's showing up in paradise.
let
this
me
year.
let me toss this out right
Yes.
away. Does this not feel like cringy and suspect of like, why would you go out of your way to get on television to try to do this? This seems a little attention grabbing, and I don't know. There's way more subtler ways to be like, yo, you're my friend and this isn't a good person.
I think yes and no. I mean, I
Maybe.
think there's not enough data right now, but I like that you threw that out. I will say when she walked up and she was like, it's all I'm going to say. Be careful.
Yeah,
That's
that's
always
just
like,
like,
you
yo,
are
just say
such
what's
a
wrong.
pot
Yeah.
stirrer.
Yeah.
That's when you're like, she wants to go to Sayulita. She loves the drama too.
Yeah, I'm like, no, you ain't just gonna end on that. I was
I
like,
know.
we need some more. We need some more meat with this.
Because that's how the girls always leave. All I'm going to say is be
You know,
careful.
I'm glad that you bring that up because the episode before the one that I missed, didn't when Sheehan got eliminated?
Deandra.
Sheehan did as well.
Sheehan did too.
She said, "Watch out! Some people aren't here for the right reasons." I'm wondering if she knew something about it too.
Oh.
I don't know.
Yeah, but that's very broad. I feel like somebody says that every single season just because they overheard them talking
Right.
something.
I
Or it
know.
could come out
Maybe,
later. It could be another
maybe.
secret we don't know about.
They also know if they drop the ambiguous truth bomb, it for sure makes it into the show. So they're like, maybe they're just trying
That's
to
a good
solidify their
point.
edit. But as you guys know, we do have a chat. Mike, I'm wondering if anyone in there is.
I mean, the chat, you guys are always amazing. This is going nuts. We will shout out. People are saying that another, I don't really know if we shout out our source, but another popular website that covers a lot of reality shows has already got stuff about this and has said that they have never gotten so many stories and tea about a contestant ever before Victoria.
I read that.
And that was
so that's
reported
pretty
months
interesting.
ago, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been out for a long time. People are wondering why she's still there. It's because she's very attractive. A lot of the same kind of sentiments.
I read somewhere that Lauren Burnham's mom was also friends with one of the wives whose marriage got broken up.
Wait,
and
Lauren Burnham.
Lauren B. Ari's Lauren
Yeah.
B.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
And was I read that she was also filmed confronting Peter at this date, but I guess that never made it to the show.
Interesting.
Whoa.
But there's just a lot of evidence, quote unquote, making this seem very like a very black and white, one-sided kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think this leads us perfectly. The best way to assess this, right, is to talk about Victoria's reaction
Yes.
when Peter
Yeah.
brought it up.
And that's what a lot of people are talking about in the chat. She didn't really defend it.
No, she
She's
didn't.
more offended by the fact that he's even bringing it up or that this girl came to him than in actually defending the allegations.
So from a woman, and I'll put myself on blast here. From
yourself
a
on blast.
woman who has possibly dated a guy or two,
No.
maybe around the same time.
No.
You do act a little defensive, and I'm sure everybody's been calling that out. I know I personally, as a woman, when I'm backed into a corner, I have unfortunately put it on the guy because you know what? You're being called out. And
Yeah.
you don't want to be called out. You're like, oh no, I'm being called out. I mean, eventually I came clean with it. But I will say she acted very suspicious,
Yeah.
and it led me to believe that as we all agreed 100%, there is something to this, and she's being put on blast on national television. She knew that. She was understanding that. So she's like, ooh, I gotta walk away from this situation. And that's what she does in every hard situation. She walks away.
But it seems
Absolutely.
like, sorry, go ahead.
No, well, I mean, the first thing she said was, "Oh, that's disappointing." Like, that's disappointing. I'm sorry, you're disappointed that the news got back to him. Like, you're not.
Yeah.
Preach.
You know, it's hard because, like, you know, I've also been in a position where I've been confronted with untrue rumors that people said about me, and I was twice as more defensive in that moment.
You
And-
would be.
And
Yeah.
I just think that you would be like think about this: when the girls in the house utter one word that's off about the other girl, they are so quick to defend themselves to each other and to Peter. So an allegation this big, you all of a sudden you ain't got nothing to say. You're not going to fight for yourself.
No.
She's very good, and several times throughout the season has been able to kind of turn it around and make Peter immediately feel bad kind of for anything he's doing. And then, as opposed,
He's
as we
catching
said,
on.
as opposed to the other women, yeah, he did a little bit, but
catching on.
yeah, but she got a rose, right? So not really. So
I don't want easy, I want crazy.
she turns it around, and as opposed to, like we talked about with other women, having him be like, you know, I'm not really feeling for you, and they're like, no, I really love you. Again with Victoria, she's like, he's like, no, wait, I love you. I'm there.
Well observed.
It's true.
I mean, she flat out says he can go though.
I know. This conversation was like tough.
Yes.
Like,
on that tiny
Painful.
stoop.
I'm like, you're not supposed to. This dynamic is like 2 years into your marriage when you forgot to do the dishes, and it's been, you know, one of you needs a vacation, and you know, I'm just kidding.
No, but it is something
this
that you
shouldn't
would expect
be.
later.
They're in the honeymoon period. Like this, I guess
yeah.
he loves that.
Yeah,
like,
but Jeff, 99% of the relationship is working, okay?
That's right, 99%.
Okay.
Perfect.
Who's doing their
1%.
math?
Perfect.
No.
Gosh, and I couldn't believe her tone. I was like, I felt like a parent. Don't take that tone with him.
Yes.
When she was like, when he was like, I just don't see you fighting first. She goes, really? You haven't? That's funny. I was like,
yeah.
No, yeah.
Peter felt it too. You heard him go, "Excuse me?"
Yeah,
I know.
because she's walked away from dinner several times, right? She's been on the verge of quitting and everything, and he's always reeling her back in.
She's acting like it's her show. Let's be real.
She's a whiny baby.
It's been about her emotions the entire time.
Yes.
Yeah.
this is a toughie. I don't know how
What's
to unpack.
tough about it?
I don't get it. I think like, I guess he's attracted. You know what? He kind of likes
Yes.
the cuckoo. Because I love Hannah B. I really do. But she's not a simple steak and eggs kind of girl.
No.
Like, Hannah B's a bit of a handful, too.
But Hannah B was a little bit indecisive.
more sane.
She wasn't like an alleged homewrecker, and like I don't see them on the same level.
No, not at all. I'm not comparing
Yeah.
Hannah B and Victoria F, but we've kind of seen Peter. He likes working through fights. I think he likes the
Yeah.
resolution. 'Cause, I don't know.
Sorry, something in the chat. Yinzer got me Marissa for Bachelorette and keep her face blurred the entire season.
Oh, that's funny.
It's like the Masked Singer,
Peter,
but like
they
Bachelor
the Bachelor singer, the Masked
Masked
Bachelor.
Masked
Every
Bachelor.
people tend to like things they can't have.
I guess.
Victoria
That's a
F
good
is the only one who's making him chase her a little bit. The rest are just like, absolutely anything you
Yeah.
say.
Oh, Madison is. There's a little bit of a no.
No, you're right. There's a chase there, but it's
Not
different.
like Victoria F.
Well,
It's
yeah,
not
but-
like
yeah.
They're hot and cold. I mean, like, I will say when Victoria came up to hug him during the rose ceremony, she kind of was like rubbing his hair. Like, I was like, there's just an energy there that they've tapped that he hasn't tapped with these other, not as, like, I like Madison and Hannah Ann and Kelsey, but they don't have that, like, we fight and then we make love kind of dynamic, you know? Like, I think Peter's into that.
Yeah. No, 100% he is.
It's dangerous and toxic.
Yeah,
but-
like-
Like
on.
flying.
We've got 483 people in
Yes,
the
we
chat
do.
right
Hey,
now.
yes, we do.
I just have to stop and
I'm
call
watching
that
all
out.
of y'all.
Wow.
Because when you made a point when she did that little laugh, she was like, when she was walking away, and then she went into the. I was like, there it
a
is, right
coy
there.
little smile.
Just like,
she's like, before I
got
go,
him.
I have one more thing, and she leaves the photo, Mr. and Mrs. Weber with a coy
That
laugh.
was like you couldn't script that better.
No.
It's just like
Do
Here's
we
the
think
picture.
Chantry loves him, guys?
No.
No, right? No. Okay,
I
just
do
think
not
that's
think so.
I don't think so.
If I had to play like armchair psychologist here, which
Oh, yes.
you know, it seems like she's very insecure. I feel like if I was her therapist, I would say you've got to do some self-love work and learn who you are before you're ready to date anyone.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm watching her spiral between anger and then shame and self-hatred and then anger again, and it just seems like she needs to do a little bit of work within herself before she's ready to get married.
And because of the alleged, breaking up marriages and the way that she's been acting with Peter, it's very similar behavior to somebody that would be seeking someone who's in a relationship or
This
married.
is a similar thing going around the chat. A bunch of people have said it, so I can't credit all you guys. This is a lot. Is Peter just going to try to windmill it up with Victoria
maybe.
next episode and
then
then
ditch her?
boot her? Yeah.
I did see Twitter from Brett S. Vergara, who I have to shout out, said, Peter just keeps thinking with his Peter, which I thought
Yes.
was kind of
Oh,
Yes.
that's hilarious.
And it's true. I mean, Victoria F's gorgeous.
You need to give us a like if you like that pun, because that was great.
Quickly, I will say, we keep mentioning the chat. If you're listening to our podcast, we do go live on AfterBuzz TV's main channel at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Every week after the show, we have tons of live viewers right now, and if you are watching live, it really, really helps us to give us a like. We bring you this content for free, but that kind of stuff really helps keep the network afloat and really means a lot to us if you guys like this video. And hit that subscribe button. We cover tons of TV content here. We love it. So hit that subscribe button. We'd really appreciate it. We love you guys very, very much. Anything else on Victoria before we move on?
How did she get a freaking rose? That's
Crazy.
all I
She's
got to
great
say.
too.
Quickly, what is happening with Victoria's family? Was she adopted? Did any of
Stop,
these
be nice.
I'm
Be
not-
nice to
yeah.
family.
Here's what I'll say. None of these people in her family seemed like her speed. Like, that was what it was. Like, it was like,
Seems very different.
yeah. Yeah,
I
let's
mean-
know your thoughts.
That was just from the little edit that ABC gave us at the end and a brief pan.
They-
Yeah,
Yeah,
I really
it
don't know
just
much
looks very
about 'em.
normal. I
In
don't
the
know,
short joking,
everyday
in the
life.
short after we saw with the family joking around, they seem to have like just a more emotion than Victoria did the entire season.
I think
she's
Victoria-
very stone faced just in general. I'm so upset. I'm having such a great time on this date.
Yeah.
She's the Kim Kardashian of their family. The one
Yeah.
with the most attention, who speaks in a really weird voice that no one else does.
She does have Kim
And
K
who's smoking
energy.
hot. Yep.
Yeah, she has Kim K energy. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move on and talk. Let's talk about Madison next. That was the next most significant date. Christine Alexis, overall
Yes.
thoughts on his time with Madison?
I will say I love the beginning part of their date as someone who's a big basketball fan.
Yes.
And who's into like activity type things with the guy. I thought it was super cute, very on brand. But it seems like we hit a roadblock when Peter went to go meet her family, because one thing I noticed while we were watching this is Peter didn't really ask for a blessing to get to marry any of these women, and Madison's father just hit him with the no, sir. Like, it was
Yeah.
a straight up stop sign. Let's revisit this. Hold on.
Yeah, what'd you think, Rach?
Yeah, I mean, I love that. I don't know. Madison again is just the typical like 100% Auburn beauty queen. Like, she is just who I was in not who I was in high school, but who in high school like I would want to be friends with, like or I would
too.
idolize. She's just amazing. But I felt a lot of pressure on this date. That was the number one thing I got out of this date. He felt a lot of pressure, and then I felt a lot of pressure. I felt that maybe Peter could think that Madison's a little bit out of his league a little bit.
Interesting.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't know. That's the biggest thing I took from this. If it were me going to see Madison, I'd be like, wow, this is a lot to live up to.
Well, the stakes are so high. She was the first person that he admitted he was falling in love with. I think it
Exactly.
felt that intense because he cares about her the most.
Exactly. I agree with you.
Not attracted to the most, cares about her the most.
Right.
Yes.
Just want to clarify.
True.
Yeah.
Madison's
we
my
know
favorite.
Victoria.
Yeah, she's the biggest catch, right?
Madison's my
Yeah.
favorite.
Yeah.
I love the date. Super cute. The basketball stuff. That's adorable. They got home. Dad gave the kind of similar thing that all three dads that we've
Yeah.
seen today kind of give him. And it's similar. This is really weird because Christine and I cover Love is Blind, that new Netflix show.
Watch it.
The episode that we did today was Meet the Parents. We're doing the exact same thing and going home. So we saw a lot of dads being like, what are your expectations of my daughter? I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So all the kind of stuff. It's the same kind of reality trope that I said on our show before. all their daughters went into this. We all know what this whole thing was. So the whole, like, you know, don't say you love her unless, like, come on, guys. We know this is The Bachelor, and this is kind of what goes down and happens. Like, I would like more if they did a straight up fun, getting to know you, and let's see how it is, and that'll be great, rather than this weird, like, she's my daughter, and you better actually love her, kind of veiled threat kind of thing. It seems inauthentic.
I know what you mean, but I kind of think that's Madison's vibe. That's her upbringing. And I will say, love Madison too. I'm not quite sure she's ready to take the leap into marriage. You know, it's like, I still feel like she's married to her parents. When she was talking to her dad, and she's like, before I move forward with anything, it's just really important that I have your approval. And, like, when you're making the decision, we call it leaving and cleaving in the Protestant church. You leave your parents and you cleave to your spouse.
Oh.
And it seems like she hasn't, she's not ready to cleave yet.
Isn't cleaving also cutting?
I get confused about what leave and cleave means, but you Protestant evangelicals from the Midwest, you tell me, you remind me what it means. But I think, like, I think it's a mistake to, like, require the approval of other people when you're getting married, because you're not marrying your parents' approval of someone, you're marrying someone, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think you're being a little harsh on her.
Yeah, I love Madison, to be clear.
Yeah, because as much as I agree with your sentiment, like, ultimately it is her choice at the end of the day. I think that all of those girls probably feel the same way. You all secretly want your parents to approve. Like,
Totally.
I think she's just, being that she has this super Christian tight-knit family, I think they're just harping on it a lot more. But I know for a fact I would be brokenhearted if my parents weren't down for who I was going to marry.
And coming from that, I don't know exactly what her Christianity religion is, but that Southern Baptist, like South, like how you're raised there. I mean, from South Carolina, like, it's definitely, there's pressure, and there are families and people that are brought up to such a high standard. And as he said, we've made her live up to this high standard and not accept anything less. That's how we've raised her. So a lot of pressure again.
Yeah.
It is pressure. I mean, but what if he comes to dinner and he gets the special plate? And if they don't like him, they can't say anything nice about it.
I want the special plate. Someone give me the special plate.
I'm looking at the chat too. Misha C brings up a good point. Madison knows Peter's a sexual person. Why is she still here?
I was just going to mention
I wrote that down too. After her mom said, like, you know, you take a long time to open up, you're kind of slow to things. I'm like, man, this is an accelerated process. You know, why is she still on? But, you know, she loves Peter. She hasn't said it yet, but she loves him, right?
I loved her mom. I loved her mom in this, trying to dance around when she really was trying to say, like, have you told me you're a virgin yet? This is like basically, I love the dancing around. Are we going to jump into this whole thing now and the sex stuff with the comparison to Luke P?
Let's go ahead and bring it up because we saw it in the promo. We'll probably just skip predictions and kind of cook it into this segment. But the big reveal that's coming up is that Madison is going to give Peter an ultimatum.
Yeah.
If you sleep with other women during our relationship, so during the show, I'm going to remove myself from the show.
Yeah.
This is, I mean, the same thing Luke said to Hannah. And
this one moment.
Yeah. Luke said this to Hannah.
Right.
Does this feel like the same situation?
I won't know until I see exactly what she says on that date.
Unless it's raining and there's lightning in the background.
Because
such amazing TV.
Very true.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, at one point in my life, I wanted to stay, you know, pure until I was married, and how big of a deal that was to me. And I remember the pressure of that growing up, or just wanting that so badly. So I would think that if I still had those values, or I still was living by that it you know, it would be a really big deal to me. I mean, coming as a small girl, and that's how you're raised, like that's your mentality. But I'm curious to see. I'm just curious to see what she says.
That's fair.
Based on what we know right now, and Jeff and I defended Luke P for as long as we possibly could that season, I think. I don't think it's the same, just because of the whole... If we take a look at the entire picture of how Luke P acted and the manipulation and the things like that, Madison to me has been a complete sweetheart the entire way. And Luke P was almost intrinsically offended that she didn't just immediately go on with that. Whereas to me, my hope, because again, she's my favorite right now, is that Madison, if she gives him this ultimatum and he doesn't end up living up to that, which we kind of know, right? That she's just like, cool, I respect your decision, but I'm just not down with that.
That's the vibe I got.
Right.
Which
Yeah,
wasn't the same vibe.
It's not.
It's, and I will say, I was actually okay with Luke until he like took another step. Like when Luke said, "If I were to find out that you're sleeping with other men, I'm removing myself from the competition." That's his prerogative, and I remember saying that on air. Like I don't think it's unfair of Luke to say that about his experience. It was when he started projecting moral judgments on her.
Yes.
That was when it kind of became a problem. So it's all going to be about how Madison handles it, but she completely has the right to control the relationship how she wants to. She has a say in what his behavior is, and if she doesn't approve of it, she should leave.
Yeah, she can decide this isn't the man that I want to be my husband.
Exactly.
Like it's totally her prerogative. This is not like she's not bound by this in any way. And I think also just trying to see it a little bit more from her perspective, I feel like she might have said that. I mean, we'll see later, but like to kind of even the playing field, because if he's got 3 really great girls left and they all have great families, he loves their personalities, but he slept with 2 and not the other, it's like she's almost missing from that criteria of judgment. Like, you know what I mean? Let's be real. Like, you want to go with someone you're physically compatible with, and he doesn't get to explore that with her past a certain point like he would with the other women.
Right.
So maybe she's like, hey, let's even the playing field. Don't sleep with any of us.
Yeah.
And then decide.
Well, and I saw a lot of people in the chat saying she knew how he was before, that he had the 4 windmill experience, and obviously that wasn't his first time and things like that. So why is she there? We talked about that a little bit while we were watching the episode. I think it's fair to say she expects that of right now. Obviously, she's okay with the past, that he's slept with people in the past.
Yeah.
It's just from this moment in time and this experience kind of moving forward.
Well, I hope she's
Right.
the first fantasy suite date, because if she wants to even the playing field, I feel like she should have maybe told him a little bit earlier, too.
Yeah.
That's
She's
also
going to in the
interesting.
airport hangar, I
Looks
think.
like
though.
it.
Oh, that's
Looks
true.
like it.
We'll see. I mean, it's really interesting. And the chat brought up a good point that Luke's language of if you were to have slipped up, we can move past it. That
Right.
was the
Right.
That's a
problem.
mistake.
But
Right,
I will
right.
say, Luke did a very interesting interview. And again, who knows what kind of truth he's telling, but when we saw Hannah and Luke on the Bible study date, he said that they had this really long conversation about how she would view that as a slip up and she wouldn't want to do that. So his language was based around a conversation they had already had that the producers left out. I don't know. If you want to look into that, I covered it on Bachelor News Daily. It gave an interesting picture of Luke that maybe the show didn't paint for us. I'm not defending him. I'm just saying we can only go on these edits. So it's going to be really interesting to see
Yeah.
what happens.
What edit
Fair
she
enough.
To
gets.
that point, I wonder if she might say something bad and they might edit it out to make her look better.
Right.
Of course.
You never
Who
know.
knows? But it's going to be interesting, and I gotta say, I'm already kind of cringing as to how hard this is going to be to watch. This kind of stuff.
Oh, I can't
When
wait.
it gets so personal, sometimes with this show, I'm like, I feel like a voyeur. Like I feel like a creep.
Not as cringy as Peter trying to find a roundabout way of saying he's not religious.
I know.
When Madison brought that up.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I cringed for him.
Yeah,
know,
it's funny. I like both of them a
but-
lot, but I don't know if they're a fit, and I kind of think they're going to end up together long term. I think Madison's going to come back.
Nah.
I think this is the news that Chris Harrison brings, is that Madison regrets self-eliminating and wants to come back. That's my prediction.
Oh, and then maybe at that point he already decided on the other person.
Hannah,
And,
yeah.
Oof.
I don't
Yeah.
know. We'll see, but crazy, crazy stuff. Anything else with Madison before I move on to Hannah Ann Slusses?
I just love her.
Yeah.
I love her.
I want her to come out of this alive.
Yeah, totally. All right, let's talk about Hannah Ann Sluss. Her dad, Ranger Rick, cuts down trees, so they throw axes.
Axe time.
I gotta say, I like Hannah Ann. I like Peter. What do they have in common?
We always go back to this.
They're on this season of The Bachelor.
They're both brunette.
I know.
They both write letters to each
You're
other.
right, they write
Yes,
letters.
telling
Yeah.
with a numbered of how what they like about each
Yeah.
other.
Peter's letter is cute. That's a cute comeback to something that she did that was cute.
Not gonna lie, I've always wanted a guy to write me a letter. That is top 2 sentimental things ever.
Somebody better be
So,
watching this.
you
Well,
know,
His sister.
At
DMs,
Chris-
do
at
DMs
Christine
count.
Bean.
Do DMs count.
thank you. DMs do not count.
If it's a well-written DM with sincerely, does it? That crosses the line.
My DMs
Explore
are
it.
open.
Explore it.
DMs
We'll
are
see.
open.
I don't know, but her sister cried about the letter when she opened that up, and her sister was like, "Oh my god, this is the one for you." That's the vibe I got from her sister, and I was like, "Wait, we're crying about a letter being written? What is
Do
going-"
better, men.
Yeah, do better. What are we doing here?
It is funny because their letters are like, number 1, you make me feel special. Number
I don't
2,
want that. I
you
want
have
good.
hair. Number 3, you're a human. Like, I'm like, there's not a line here. They're trying so hard.
Number 4, the way you name your different outfits.
Yeah, Laura
you name your dresses?
Laura Arango in the chat mentioned just that exact thing about her naming her dresses. Y'all name your dresses?
Nope.
No, I don't name my dresses, but I'll
Is
be
that a
like,
thing?
"Ooh, that's a bad one right there." You know,
Yeah.
like,
Ooh, that's sexy.
That's
Ooh, that's
titty
hot.
dress. Yeah.
Ooh, that's an interview dress. That's an audition dress.
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
Yes.
Not names.
I kind
like,
of, I kind of liked the conversation with her sister though. I thought it was sweet.
Yeah, and
They
she's
seem
beautiful.
connected.
sister's
Yeah.
gorgeous too.
I
Like,
feel like the very mean part of my brain, if I'm being totally honest, is the
Let it
Sluss
out.
family. They're all very nice. They're just kind of boring. I just feel like Hannah Ann. I don't get who she is.
well, you know, Peter did say to her dad that they share the same zest for life. I believe that's what he said.
Zest.
They're both
Zest.
excited about life.
Okay.
But I just don't know what they're excited about together.
To me, Hannah
Starting
Ann,
family, traveling. What is it?
I like Hannah Ann a lot. I think Hannah Ann is kind of the less energetic Madison. That's
Yeah.
what I see. They're both very sweet. Their family seems super cool and nice, albeit boring to Jeff. But that's okay. You got to remember, too, these are just normal people. They ain't
Right.
sign up for The Bachelor.
Yeah,
All of
she
a
might
sudden,
just not be good TV.
there's going to be a camera crew in their house, and it's just like, I don't know, what are we be good to our daughter? Let's talk away.
Yeah.
And so I thought they were nice and sweet, but you're right. I don't see this amazing love connection between them, and I just think they might not be compatible-ish.
Yeah, and I also said, I just think that Hannah Ann, this is more, she's so young, and maybe I shouldn't be so judgmental of her being so young and looks so young, that this just might be an infatuation. I'm on a TV show. This is Peter Weber. He's how much older than me? I don't know. This seems like she's never been in love, which is not a knock on her, but this seems like maybe more of an infatuation. And if they do end up together, I don't know if I could see this lasting very long.
They really did a bait and switch with her edit because with her getting the first impression rose and being very like
Yes.
proactive and
Yes.
aggressive and like I thought I was gonna get way more from her in terms of how she feels
Yeah.
about Peter.
Right.
But I think she just wanted the attention. Like I don't think there was anything actually behind
Yes.
it.
That's what we see, though. But what do you think Peter sees? Because I think Peter sees her as a really good match.
I think to me she represents a why not. Like I'm not sure there's a ton of check marks as to why, but there's a lot of check marks as to there's no red flag. Like it's like
Yeah.
she doesn't have any X's. So
Yeah.
I don't mean EXs, I mean like she doesn't have any strikes.
Yes.
Strikes
Right.
against her,
As
yeah.
other people
So
have
I think
on the show.
that's unfortunately there's not a ton of us that like to me screams she'd be a great life partner besides she's fine. She's
Yeah.
pretty. She's very
She's
pretty.
beautiful. She's a model.
I think she's hometowny. She is model, but I can see her as a mom, as a companion. I
Yeah.
think she's a cool girl. I can see her as wifey material.
I might
for
be
sure.
being shady right now.
I think you are.
yeah.
Ease
not
up,
my type.
okay?
That's what we do.
God, that other end of the table.
I
I'm
know.
surprised you're saying ease up. Miss, you throw shade like it's your job.
But I mean, when it's deserved, I think she's just a sweet. I think she's just a sweet girl.
She's sweet.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hannah, still come on the show though.
Yeah, we'd love to have you on. Prove me wrong. Let's talk about Kelsey.
Rip.
Yeah.
So did Peter.
I don't know. It just like at the end of the episode, let's talk about Kelsey.
I know. I don't know why.
Kelsey and all the women in her family who are little clones of each other.
Yeah, this blonde Dutch Iowa family. I'm kind of sad to see Kelsey go.
I'm
She
sad.
became very interesting.
I'm the biggest fan though.
Jeff
Here's
really
why.
likes Kelsey.
I
Everybody.
think of these four, Kelsey is the most likely to make it as a wife. I think if he would have picked her, she would have been the most all in to get married.
What?
You think Hannah is ready to
100%.
settle down?
Oh, you mean specifically with Peter?
Totally. She's the most ready to get. You think Hannah Ann
she's
wants to
in
drop
love
her
with him.
modeling career and get married? They're going to be a 1-year divorce, the
Why do you
1
want
year
to drop her
breakup.
career? She could do both.
She can do both,
Yes,
but I
that
just
might be
know.
right. That might be accurate.
I've got young 23-year-old. I think I want to get married, but now I'm at a Hollywood party and I'm changing my mind energy from Hannah Ann.
Celebrities like Jeff Graham are there.
And I think Madison isn't. I know, like me, totally.
Married guys.
My wife would come to party with me, but I just think Hannah Ann is very much. I think I want to get married, but once I taste influencer fame life, I might change my mind. Madison,
I
I
get
don't
it.
think is compatible with Peter. I think if Peter was in with Kelsey, they could have made it.
Yeah, no, if he had been more into her.
I think they could have made it.
But again, it was way too easy. Way too easy. She
I mean,
said,
That's a good point.
She said, I've been in love with you since Peru. And he goes, I never have to question my feelings for Kelsey. And so, that ain't going to work out then.
Yeah, I was
That's
really
that's a
disappointed.
good point. No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I was disappointed there was nothing with Champaign in Iowa, the capital of United States, Champaign, obviously. There was nothing with that on the date. They had the weird wine tasting laboratory thing.
What should we call it? Wine.
The wine.
Fine.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah.
I don't know. She kind of rubbed me the wrong way right off the bat.
I'm gonna throw a tinfoil theory
Here we go.
here.
Yes.
The only blonde that he wants
Yep.
is not on this show.
It's Demi.
That's
It's Demi.
just- You
Yeah.
know damn well I'm not talking about Demi. Hannah Brown! Where you at, girl?
Yeah.
She might be
Saying
back.
That might be the only
Kelsey,
blonde that has his heart.
I think, but exactly what you said, I think that's a really, really good take. That as far as true wife outside of gameplay and anything like that, I think she was ready. Maybe a lot of we throw shade. Maybe a lot of the cameras and the stuff threw her off. It's tough being on a show. She wasn't maybe ready for it. And
Yeah.
we got a little bit exaggerated stuff, in the house.
Do we see Kelsey going on Paradise? Or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If she
Yeah.
wants to.
If she wants
Oh,
to.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to throw it out now. I think she'd be a very interesting bachelorette.
A lot of people in the chat agree with you.
We talked about it last week, too.
I do not, but a lot of people in the chat agree with you.
Why-
I'm Madison for Bachelorette.
Madison, we've got Madison.
I don't think they're going to take a crazy risk.
She's
why-
JoJo.
But why do you want Kelsey? You don't think we just had a Kelsey with Hannah B, the Hot Mess
Not
Express?
really. Kelsey's more damaged.
Yeah.
She
That's
is.
a weird thing to say, but I think there's more stuff there. Like, this
But I
is so
see-
bad.
But again, it is pretty
You're
bad.
a
That's
true
pretty bad.
producer right now.
I know.
But
I
I'm
know.
saying I see Madison the first virgin Bachelorette. That I
You're
see
right.
that.
No, that would be really cool. But I did see somebody say Demi with men and women.
I mean, I'm Demi all
that
day.
would
I'm
be
Demi all day.
literally amazing.
You think ABC
Yeah.
is that progressive?
I mean,
Let's go.
I don't see it.
I
It's
don't.
just like a shot of love too
No.
with Tequila.
I don't.
Oh, she was a hot mess.
But that was men and women too.
I want to
Yeah.
qualify because I'm on air right now. I don't mean
Here we
damage in
go.
a negative way. Like I truly,
In a good way.
I feel like at my worst in relationships, I can be kind of an emotional train wreck. You know what I mean? Like, and
Same.
I don't
Same. Like-
so like and granted,
too.
Champagne Gate was nuts, but like I don't know if we've seen like Kelsey energy before on the show, and I think she's in it. I do think she wants to get married, and I think she'd be a very interesting and possibly relatable lead on the show.
No more virgin leads. There's a lot of opinions up in the chat. One that I just came up, and I guess while we're at it, we've already mentioned her name a couple times. What do you guys think about Hannah Brown 2.0 for The Bachelor
I'm down for
again?
that too.
Or, and I want to just toss this in the second part of the question, do you think she's coming back this season again as any kind of legit contender?
This will be our last topic because we got to get out of here. But
sorry, did you have
no,
something
no, no.
else?
No. That I wanted to move on. That's perfect. I do think Hannah B will return.
I think she's gonna return and steal Peter's heart again. That's where I think that goes.
I don't think she's going to return.
Ooh.
No.
Oh, I
And what do you
hope she
think?
does. I hope she does
hope.
so bad.
I
Because
know.
I love the twists and turns of all this stuff. I really hope she comes back.
Totally. Well, we are out of time, but we want to thank you guys so much for tuning in today on the Bachelor After Show here on AfterBuzz TV. We're here, as I mentioned, every Monday right after the show airs. Oh man, what a good discussion! I love this. Is my favorite 35 minutes
so
I get
good.
to do.
It's
So
so
good.
good.
I have been checking our iTunes reviews, and I haven't been seeing a ton of action there. So make sure you're posting those 5-star reviews. 5-star reviews. We will read one on air. And thank you so much for tuning in, guys. My name is Jeff Graham. I do daily news segments covering Bachelor news, and there's going to be a ton tomorrow. So make sure you tune into the AfterBuzz TV reality channel to check it out. Christine.
I'll be tuned in as well. I love the good hot gossip and tea. That's where I live.
Yes.
You guys can keep up with me on Twitter at Christine Bean. Wow. And on Instagram at Christine I Alexis. And I write news articles for PerezHilton.com. So make sure you're subscribed. Okay.
And you can find me on my Instagram. I'm super funny on there, so check it out at Rachel Swindler. And then you can find me on Twitter at Rachie Swin.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us in the chat. We hit over 650 live viewers today.
Wow.
Big up to you guys. Joseph Boza, Kayla, Misha, Jules, Julie Telkin, Shani Sweet Smile, Parker, J-Job, Sarah, Heather Fitz, Kayla, Laura, Miss Brown Sugar, and Nia again, J-Jobs. My name is Mike Thieling. You can find me everywhere at Mike Thieling.
What a pro. I love you guys.
Try as many as I can see on the screen.
All right, we're getting out of here, guys. See you next week. Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.